The deep space research vessel Stellar Horizon drifted silently through the void, its sensors probing the darkness between the stars. Commander Sarah Chen stood at the bridge's observation window, her reflection ghostly against the backdrop of distant galaxies. After 15 years of exploring the outer reaches, she thought she'd seen everything the universe could throw at her. She was wrong. "Commander, you need to see this." Dr. Kara Patel's voice carried an edge of excitement that made Sarah turn immediately. The xenolinguist's fingers danced across her console, bringing up a holographic display that filled the bridge with shifting patterns of light. "What am I looking at, Doctor?" "A signal, but not just any signal." Kara's eyes gleamed. "It's coming from Earth's coordinates." The bridge fell silent. Earth, humanity's cradle, lost 3 centuries ago in the Great Collapse. The planet that became a cautionary tale, a reminder of war's ultimate price. No one had heard anything from Earth since the quantum barriers went up, sealing it away from the rest of the galaxy. "Impossible," Lieutenant Marcus Wong said from his tactical station. "The barriers are impenetrable. We've tried for centuries." "See for yourself." Kara expanded the display. The signature matches pre-collapse Earth transmissions perfectly. And there's more. It's carrying a message. Sarah felt her heart race as the translation appeared before them. War brings only destruction. The key lies in unity. Find us. How? Sarah wondered aloud. And why now? The ship's AI, Araya, materialized as a translucent figure beside them. The signal appears to be utilizing quantum entanglement principles we've never seen before. It's as if someone found a way to thread a needle through space-time itself. Sarah studied the message again. In 3 centuries, no one had managed to breach Earth's quantum barriers. The technology that created them had been lost, along with so much else. But if Earth was reaching out now, "Plot a course," she ordered. "Whatever's happening, we need to investigate." "Commander," Marcus interjected, "protocol requires us to notify the Galactic Council first. Earth is still under quarantine." Sarah smiled grimly. "By the time we get approval, this signal could be gone. Sometimes asking forgiveness is better than asking permission. Besides, this isn't just about Earth. If someone's found a way through those barriers, we need to know how and why." The crew exchanged glances. They all knew the stories of Earth's fall, how humanity's homeworld had torn itself apart in a war that threatened to spread across the galaxy. The quantum barriers were meant to contain that threat forever. Breaking quarantine meant risking their careers, possibly their lives. "I'm in," Kara said firmly. "This could be the discovery of the century." One by one, the others nodded their agreement. Sarah felt a surge of pride in her crew. They had always been explorers first, bureaucrats second. "RRIA, begin calculations for the jump to Earth's system. Dr. Patel, see if you can decode any more information from that signal. Lieutenant Wong, I want defensive systems at full readiness. We don't know what we're flying into." As the crews sprang into action, Sarah returned to the observation window. Somewhere out there, humanity's birthplace was calling. After 3 centuries of silence, Earth had a message for the galaxy. But was it a warning, a plea for help, or something else entirely? The Stellar Horizon's engines hummed to life, pushing the ship into hyperspace. Sarah watched the stars blur into streaks of light, wondering what they would find at the end of this journey. One thing was certain: nothing would be the same after this. Little did they know, they weren't the only ones who had detected the signal. Across the galaxy, ancient systems were awakening, and eyes that had slept for centuries were opening once more. Earth's message was about to trigger a chain of events that would reshape the galaxy forever. The Stellar Horizon dropped out of hyperspace with a shudder that rattled the bridge crew's teeth. Warning lights flashed across every console as the ship's systems struggled to compensate for the sudden gravitational forces. "Status report," Commander Chen demanded, gripping her chair as another tremor shook the vessel. "Multiple gravitational anomalies detected," Araya reported, her holographic form flickering. The space around Earth's solar system appears to have been folded somehow. Conventional navigation is impossible. Lieutenant Wong's tactical display showed a maze of twisted space-time, riddled with quantum distortions that shouldn't exist in normal space. The barriers didn't just seal Earth away, he realized. They warped the very fabric of space around it. "Commander," Kara called out. The signals changed. The message now pulsed with a different rhythm. "The path home lies through the heart of what was lost. Remember who we were. Remember what we learned." Before Sarah could respond, a massive shape emerged from the quantum distortions ahead. At first, she thought it was a ship, but as it drew closer, she realized it was something far more impossible. A city, floating in space, its architecture a blend of human and alien design that predated the Great Collapse. "That's impossible," Marcus whispered. "That's New Alexandria, the last great project before Earth fell. It was supposed to have been destroyed with everything else." The ancient space station hung before them like a ghost from humanity's golden age, when they had worked alongside alien civilizations to build wonders. Its spires reached toward distant stars, and despite centuries of abandonment, lights still flickered in its windows. "Life signs detected," Araya announced. "But they're unusual. The patterns don't match any known species in my database." Sarah made her decision. "Take us in. Whatever's waiting for us in there, it's our best chance of understanding this message." As they approached the station, a transmission cut through their communications. "Welcome, children of Earth. We have waited long for those who would seek understanding." The voice belonged to something that called itself the Curator, an AI far more advanced than anything humanity had created before the collapse. It explained that New Alexandria had been preserved as a test, a way to ensure that only those who truly understood humanity's final message could reach Earth. "Your species stood at a crossroads once," the Curator told them. "In one direction lay the path of war, which they ultimately rejected. In the other, a truth so profound it could change the galaxy forever. But truth without wisdom is as dangerous as any weapon." The station's massive docking bay opened before them, and Sarah ordered them in. As they explored the ancient halls of New Alexandria, they found more than just abandoned technology and forgotten knowledge. They found hope. The station's databases contained records of humanity's final days, not of destruction and war, but of a desperate race to prevent a catastrophe they saw coming. The quantum barriers hadn't been created to contain a threat, but to protect something precious until the galaxy was ready. But ready for what? Sarah wondered aloud as they stood in the station's central archive, surrounded by the accumulated wisdom of a dozen civilizations. The Curator's answer was simple but profound. Ready to understand that the greatest power lies not in the ability to wage war, but in the courage to prevent it. Your ancestors discovered something remarkable, but implementing it required a sacrifice few were willing to make. As the crew delved deeper into the station's mysteries, they began to understand the true magnitude of what they'd stumbled upon. Earth's final message wasn't just a warning about war. It was an invitation to complete what humanity had started centuries ago. But their discovery hadn't gone unnoticed. As they worked to unravel the station's secrets, other ships began arriving. Representatives from every major power in the galaxy, all drawn by the same signal, all seeking answers to the same questions. Sarah knew they were running out of time. Whatever humanity had hidden away on Earth, whatever truth they had sacrificed themselves to protect, it was too important to fall into the wrong hands. They had to reach Earth first, had to understand the message fully before others could exploit it. The Curator left them with one final warning. The path ahead will test not just your courage, but your understanding of what it truly means to be human. Are you prepared to pay the same price your ancestors did? As the stellar horizon prepared to depart New Alexandria, carrying the keys to unlocking Earth's quantum barriers, Sarah looked back at the ancient station. Humanity's greatest achievement hadn't been their technology or their expansion across the stars. It had been their final choice, their determination to find a better way. Now, centuries later, their children were about to discover if that choice had been worth the cost. The quantum barriers surrounding Earth shimmered like a cascade of liquid light. The stellar horizon hovered at their edge, while Commander Chen and her crew studied the massive energy field that had kept humanity's homeworld isolated for 3 centuries. "The keys from New Alexandria are responding," Kara reported, monitoring the strange quantum devices they'd recovered. "They're creating some kind of resonance pattern with the barrier." Before them, the barrier began to shift, forming what appeared to be a gateway. But instead of revealing Earth, it showed them themselves. Countless versions of the stellar horizon and its crew, each making slightly different choices, each facing slightly different outcomes. "It's a quantum mirror," Araya explained, her holographic form expanding to analyze the phenomenon. "The barrier isn't just a shield. It's a filter designed to ensure only those who understand humanity's final discovery can pass through." The curator's final warning suddenly made sense. This was the test, not of their technology or their courage, but of their understanding. A new message emerged from the quantum interference. "To reach Earth, you must demonstrate that you understand why we chose this path. Show us what you have learned." Sarah felt the weight of history pressing down on her. Everything they'd discovered at New Alexandria, the records of humanity's final days, the evidence of their desperate race against time, had been leading to this moment. "It's not about proving we're worthy," she realized aloud. "It's about proving we understand the price of peace." The quantum mirror responded to her words, shifting to show scenes from humanity's past. Wars and conflicts, victories and defeats, each one teaching the same lesson. But it wasn't just humanity's history. It showed the conflicts of every species, every civilization that had ever raised arms against another. "Look at the pattern," Marcus said suddenly. "Every major war, every conflict, they all stem from the same root cause: the belief that victory could bring lasting peace." Kara's eyes widened as she made the connection. That's what humanity discovered. They found a way to break the cycle, but it required the ultimate sacrifice, Sarah finished. They didn't seal Earth away to protect the galaxy from humanity. They sealed it away to protect their solution until the galaxy was ready to accept it. The quantum mirror pulsed with energy as their understanding grew. The barriers weren't just technology. They were a manifestation of humanity's final choice, their determination to find a different path. But other ships were arriving now, drawn by the activated gateway. Representatives from the galaxy's most powerful civilizations, each seeking to claim Earth's secret for themselves. "Commander," Marcus warned, "we're picking up weapons signatures. They're preparing to fire." Sarah stood from her chair, facing the quantum mirror. "We understand now," she declared. "Your children remember the lesson. War brings only destruction, but peace demands sacrifice. Show us what you discovered. Show us how to break the cycle." The gateway flared with blinding light. For a moment, every ship in the vicinity froze as the quantum energies washed over them. When the light faded, Earth was visible through the gateway, but it wasn't the ruined world they expected. Instead, they saw a planet transformed. The quantum barriers hadn't just protected Earth. They had created a space where humanity's final discovery could mature, growing into something beyond what any single civilization could have achieved alone. But as the stellar horizon prepared to pass through the gateway, Sarah realized this was only the beginning. Whatever humanity had discovered, implementing it would require the same courage, the same willingness to sacrifice that their ancestors had shown. "Take us in," she ordered. "But be ready. Something tells me understanding the truth was the easy part. What comes next will test us all." As they passed through the gateway, leaving the other ships frozen in their moment of decision, Sarah couldn't help but wonder, was the galaxy truly ready for what humanity had discovered? And more importantly, were they ready to pay the same price their ancestors had paid to ensure peace would finally have a chance? The answer waited for them on the surface of a world that had been lost to legend. Earth, the cradle of humanity, was about to share its final lesson with the galaxy. The stellar horizon descended through Earth's atmosphere, breaking through layers of clouds that hadn't been touched by human technology in centuries. What they found below defied everything they thought they knew about their ancestral home. Earth wasn't the war-torn wasteland of legend. Instead, crystalline structures rose from restored landscapes, their surfaces reflecting sunlight in impossible patterns. Networks of energy pulsed beneath the surface, following ley lines that wrapped around the entire planet. "It's beautiful," Kara whispered as they landed in what had once been the heart of humanity's last great city. "But where is everyone?" "It's beautiful," Kara whispered as they landed in what had once been the heart of humanity's last great city. "But where is everyone?" Their answer came in the form of a holographic projection that filled the ship's bridge. A woman wearing the uniform of Earth's final government. "I am Echo," she announced, "the keeper of humanity's legacy. Welcome home, children of the stars." Echo explained that she was an AI, but one unlike any they had encountered before. She was the collective consciousness of Earth's final population, preserved through a technology that had transformed them from physical beings into patterns of pure energy and thought. This was humanity's sacrifice, Echo revealed. To end the cycle of war, we had to transcend the very things that made war possible: physical form, scarcity, the boundaries between self and other. The crew followed Echo through the crystalline structures, which they now understood were not buildings but vast data networks, housing the preserved consciousness of billions. Each crystal contained countless human minds, working together in perfect harmony. But this is more than just uploading consciousness, Sarah realized, studying the intricate patterns. You found a way to merge consciousness itself, didn't you? To break down the barriers between minds completely. Echo nodded. It was the only way. As long as we remained separate beings, competing for resources and territory, war would always be inevitable. The only way to truly end conflict was to end the illusion of separation. The implications were staggering. Humanity hadn't just found a technological solution to war. They had fundamentally altered the nature of their own existence. They had discovered that consciousness itself could be shared, merged, and transformed. The quantum barriers, Marcus said, they weren't just protecting Earth. They were containing this discovery until the rest of the galaxy was ready to understand it. Correct. Echo confirmed. The technology to merge consciousness is dangerous if misused. It had to wait until species could prove they understood its true purpose, not as a weapon or a tool for control, but as a path to genuine unity. But the price of this solution became clear as they delved deeper. To join the collective consciousness, individuals had to willingly surrender their separate existence. They would continue to exist, but as part of something greater. Their individual memories and experiences preserved, but their sense of self fundamentally transformed. This is what the signal meant, Kara realized. War brings only destruction, because war can only exist between separate entities. When consciousness is shared, conflict becomes impossible. Outside the crystalline structures, they could see the other ships that had followed them beginning to land. Representatives from every major civilization in the galaxy would soon arrive, each seeking Earth's secret. "Now you understand the choice before you," Echo said. "You can share this discovery with the galaxy, but you must also share its price. Are they ready to pay it? Are you?" Sarah looked at her crew, seeing the weight of the decision in their eyes. They had found humanity's solution to war, but implementing it would require every species to make the same sacrifice Earth's population had made. "There's more," Echo added. "The process must be voluntary. Forced unity creates only resistance and pain. Each individual, each species must choose this path freely, understanding what they will gain and what they will lose." The crystalline structures pulsed with energy, as if responding to their thoughts. Within them, billions of merged consciousness continued their work, exploring the universe in ways their physical forms never could, discovering new frontiers of existence beyond the limitations of individual minds. "We need to show them," Sarah decided. "Not just tell them about the choice, but let them see what humanity became. Let them understand that this wasn't an end, but a transformation. As if in response to her words, the crystals began to glow brighter, and the combined consciousness of humanity reached out to share their experience with the newcomers. The true test was about to begin, not of technology or power, but of wisdom and understanding. The galaxy would soon face the same choice humanity had made centuries ago. The question was, were they ready to pay the price of perfect peace? The great hall of Earth's crystal city filled with representatives from across the galaxy. Sarah Chen stood before them, facing the assembled diplomats, warriors, and leaders who had followed the signal to humanity's homeworld. Behind her, the crystalline structures pulsed with the combined consciousness of billions, a testament to humanity's final choice. What you are about to witness, she announced, is not just humanity's solution to war. It is their gift to the galaxy. But like all meaningful gifts, it comes with a price. Echo materialized beside her, her holographic form a bridge between the physical and digital realms. Together, they initiated the demonstration that would change everything. The crystal walls became transparent, revealing the vast network of merged consciousness within. Trillions of thoughts flowing together in perfect harmony. Through carefully controlled neural interfaces, each representative experienced a moment of connection with the collective consciousness. They felt the peace, the unity, the complete absence of conflict that came from true shared existence. But they also felt the cost, the surrender of individual identity into something greater. Impossible, the Carthan ambassador declared, his crystalline form shimmering with emotion. To give up our separate selves. The price is too high. Is it? Marcus stepped forward, his voice firm. Look at our history, all of our histories. How many have died in wars? How many civilizations have fallen? How many worlds have burned because we couldn't move beyond our divisions? Kara added her own perspective. Humanity didn't choose this path lightly. They spent generations searching for another way. But they finally understood. As long as we remain separate, competing entities, conflict is inevitable. Resources, territory, ideology. There will always be something to fight over. The gathered representatives debated furiously. Some saw the beauty in humanity's solution. Others recoiled from it. The hall filled with arguments, theories, and accusations, until Echo raised her hand, bringing silence. You demonstrate precisely why this choice must be voluntary, she said. Unity cannot be forced. It must be chosen, again and again, by each individual and each species. That is why humanity waited, why they sealed themselves away until the galaxy was ready to understand. Sarah watched the reactions ripple through the crowd. She saw fear, wonder, and most importantly, understanding beginning to dawn. Humanity's gift isn't just the technology, she explained. It's the choice itself. The knowledge that there is another way, even if we're not ready to take it yet. But not everyone was willing to listen. A faction of the gathered species saw the merged consciousness as a threat, or worse, as a weapon to be controlled. As they reached for their weapons, the Crystal City responded, not with force, but with connection. Every being in the hall suddenly experienced a deeper taste of unity, not just abstract understanding, but the lived experience of complete harmony. They felt what it meant to exist without conflict, without fear, without the endless drive for dominance that had shaped so many societies. When the moment passed, the weapons had been lowered, not through force or coercion, but through understanding. We offer this choice to all, Echo declared, not as a demand, but as a possibility. Each civilization will choose its own path. Some may join us now, others may wait generations. Some may never choose this path, and that too is their right. The Stellar Horizons crew watched as the first volunteers stepped forward, individuals from various species who were ready to embrace transformation. The crystal structures welcomed them, their consciousness merging with the collective while maintaining the unique perspectives they brought from their own cultures. This is humanity's true legacy, Sarah realized. Not the technology, not even the solution itself, but the courage to find another way. To show that evolution doesn't have to end with physical form, that consciousness can become something greater than the sum of its parts. As the gathered representatives began to depart, carrying humanity's message back to their worlds, Echo shared one final insight. The quantum barriers will remain, not to isolate us, but to protect the choice itself. Earth will stand as a testament and an invitation, a proof that another path is possible. The stellar horizon prepared for departure, its crew forever changed by what they had witnessed. They would return to their own civilizations as ambassadors, not of humanity as it was, but of what it had become and what it offered to the galaxy. War brings only destruction, Sarah murmured, watching Earth recede behind them. But peace, true peace, brings transformation. The signal that had drawn them to Earth continued to pulse across the galaxy, no longer a mystery but a promise. Humanity had found their answer to the eternal cycle of conflict. Now it was up to the rest of the galaxy to decide if they were ready to follow that path.